We will take you on a virtual tour of our planned work for the new landscape assessment in Phase 3 of efforts. The landscape assessment consists of 100 plots, chosen from the candidate sites you can see here. Additionally, we included the existing 24 core plots. We newly added shrubland as one of the main land cover types in our study region, and we cover a large area with our 124 plots. Most plots are also included in our LiDAR survey, which you can see here in orange, and we will touch on that later. The landscape is a complex mosaic. In the north, you can see the original forest in the national park. Then it historically developed into jungle rubber, and later it was converted to rubber plantations, which you can see here on the forest border. You see patches of recently cleared land developing into shrubland, and in some patches, young oil palm is planted. Mature oil palm plantations can be seen closer to human settlements. It took some effort to find our new sites. We relied on local guides and our motorbikes to find them. We searched for the last remaining forest fragments. We interviewed smallholder farmers to know the location, management and ownership of nearby plantations. This person is actually a forest defender. He distributes and plants tree seedlings, and he removes oil palm from a protected forest. You can see him here in his rubber plantation that is intercropped with native trees. The landscape assessment of Phase 3 embraces heterogeneity as it exists in the real landscape. We included riparian sites on the left and jungle rubber on the right. We have included disturbed secondary forest fragments on the left, as well as well-preserved forest sites in large contiguous forest areas on the right. And of course, we have shrubland as the new land cover type. Usually, forest precedes shrubland. Then trees are felled, and it would gradually develop into a forest again. But it rarely comes to that point, because shrubland is an intermediate fallow system that is eventually, in an apparent legal move, converted to rubber and oil palm plantations. We mentioned the landscape a few times because it is important, and here is why. On the left, you see a forest fragment lost in an oil palm sea. You can imagine that the forest experiences strong edge effects, that large animal populations cannot subsist, that the microclimate is drier. On the right, you can see the opposite situation with an oil palm plantation inside a forest enclave. There are spillover effects from the forest to this plantation, freshwater streams flow into it, and the oil palm is actually regularly raided by monkeys. We use airborne LiDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging, to generate 3D point clouds of the ground and vegetation, such as the one you see here. We use LiDAR data as a bridge between the local data collected in the plots and the entire study region that will be sampled using satellite imagery, thus effectively scaling up our results to the landscape. To gather our local data on the plot scale, we set up closely coordinated sampling campaigns and teams to efficiently sample all the plots in a short time and with minimal labor. These are the sub-projects involved in the landscape assessment, along with all the variables we measure in the different color-coded groups. To close this, we show you the landscape with a flyover. We start above the forest and jungle rubber, which are encroached upon by young oil palm plantations, and you can see some shrubland on the left. Rubber plantations again, with recently shed leaves. The closer we get to human settlements, the more mature oil palm plantations we see. We are confident that the landscape assessment, with its large-scale multidisciplinary approach and advanced data analysis, can uncover the complex relationships at work in these transformation systems.